Welcome to Story Punk. I am Scott.
And I am Drew.
And we are here today to talk about the movie Train Dreams. And also to remind you that Kansas is a state that's a collection of savage lunatics, apparently. That's what they say.
That's not necessarily wrong, depending on what part of Kansas you're talking about.
So the movie Train Dreams, which came out just this past year, and it was directed by Clint Bentley, who also directed a movie that I have never seen called Jockey from 2021.
I have heard that that's excellent, and it's been on my list, and I've also not seen that. But I have heard it's similarly beautiful and meditative, and et cetera, et cetera. So,
and this movie Train Dreams was written by Bentley and his collaborative partner Greg Kuidar, and this is based on a novella written by Dennis Johnson, and Train Dreams is this is the summary is the moving portrait of Robert. Is it Grainier?
I think it's Grainier.
Grainier, like I guess like French.
That's what happens when you have two readers try to say names out loud. Is it Grainier? Grand Marnier?
But he's a logger and railroad worker who leads a life of unexpected depth and beauty. This is their summary, not mine. In a rapidly changing America in the early 20th century. That's where we are with that story.
That's not the most compelling description of what I found to be a very beautiful and compelling film.
But it is kind of what it is about. I don't know what else you would say it's about.
Well, that's the whole thing about the movie is
that's
kind
true.
of about everything.
Yeah, that's true. So it's I guess this is the best way to kind of condense it down. I guess just to give you an idea of what we're talking about here. So I saw, because as far as sort of nailing down a theme to this, sort of the extraordinary within the ordinary. At least that's at least one take on it. And the idea I had here is that it being almost like the inverse of, I don't know if inverse is exactly the word, but sort of the inverse of It's a Wonderful Life, where he was, George Bailey was this guy who was like connected to all these people. And even though he was sort of living his life and having these little moments where he was connecting into these people and it was like sort of leading to something greater, this is about a man who is sort of living an ordinary life, but he's sort of living it to his fullest. He's doing a lot of like, it's one of those things where you kind of look back and you go, that's a lot of cool stuff he did. Like this would be a guy who, if he had any heirs, which we find out, spoiler at the end of the movie, he has no heirs. But that this guy would be like the cool grandpa that had like the really awesome stories to tell about his life. And so even though he is sort of this ordinary guy, and I kind of do appreciate this character, played by Joel Edgerton, as
incredible performance.
Yes, as someone who is, I like how they always stay true to this character. They never make him like, he's never like, I don't know. They never turn him into like a nasty drunk, or there's never like some kind of weird sort of thing like sort of bubbling underneath, and those are great for certain stories, but for this story I think it just kind of worked that he was just a regular guy just living his life but doing some really interesting things.
I was thinking life. They make a lot of biopics about famous people, musicians, historical figures, whatever. And I generally don't like a biopic we're going to tell the story of their whole life.
Yeah.
And the more successful biopics are the ones that say, we're going to talk about Bruce Springsteen writing the album Nebraska. We're going to talk about Lincoln passing the Emancipation Proclamation, whatever. And sometimes those don't work either. Like our last episode was an Aaron Sorkin film, and I just don't find his Lucille Ball movie particularly compelling, even though it's about a compelling time in their life and in history. I mean, this is you could look at it as a biopic about the fictional character, and it is about his whole life. And it is really compelling because it feels very relatable and rich. And even though you may not have worked on, the railroad and logging and things like that, it's about very, very human things. And I thought it was, it was a very beautiful film. The cinematography is absolutely gorgeous. The artistry and craft of it is gorgeous, but it felt very, very real to me.
The director, Clint Bentley, said he described it as this is like an obituary for someone that you'd never read an obituary about. It's like, okay. And the idea is that most of us are never going to leave like this massive like historical footprint. I mean, that's just the reality of life. But that's okay though.
We'll be gone, and you could look at it and say we'll be gone, and nothing we did mattered, or we don't matter, except you matter when you're alive in your life. To the
I think that's a better way to say it.
No, I'm saying like that. Yeah. That's what I think.
Yeah, no,
and I think it's okay because this is a man who, I mean, his story is so tragic, losing his family and everything, but he even though. I mean, death literally follows him the whole movie. He keeps seeing Fu Sheng, who's the Asian man who he was friendly with and treated like a person who he saw get murdered. And he keeps seeing Fu Sheng, like he'll wake up and Fu Sheng is looking at him. And it's obviously his memory. It's not like really, it's not, I don't think it's literally supposed to be a ghost or anything.
I do like,
it's these dreams he has.
I do like the, how it's a little bit ambiguous. A little bit when they're taking him away, and
Fu Sheng?
And he picks his legs up, and you're kind of like, wait a minute, what's he doing? Like, what is his intention by doing that? Was he trying to stop them, or was he like what was exactly going on there? And because he kicks him right in the chest, right? So it's sort of like but I kind of like that. It's sort of like, because, maybe he didn't even know. Maybe Robert didn't even know either, because he was like, I think it's sometimes in life when you're faced with sometimes you react, you're not even sure, like you just move. You don't even know what you're doing.
Right, because it may be an extreme thing and it's not, it doesn't feel real like a dream. And so you don't know what your reaction is. I could right now come up and say, hey, Scott, here's 10 different scenarios. What would you do? You either don't know, and you would say you don't know, or you do know exactly what you would do, and then you happen to be in the situation and you really don't know what's going to happen. And so there's stuff in the movie that is moments that are very extreme, and then there's extended stuff that's very extreme. Like he's literally looking for his family in a burning forest, and he knows they're already gone, and he hopes that they ran away and survived. And he never finds them again. He never finds their bodies either. But he doesn't, he basically consciously decides to wait for his family to return.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean he stops living. Like, I'm not surprised that he didn't get together with Carrie Condon's character, but I'm also not surprised that there was enough of him that was open to talking to her and connecting with her and enjoying her company, and that was enough for him because he still was waiting for his family. And it all felt very real and small and human. And for a guy who's a laconic guy and a man, of an era where men did man things like blogging and stuff like that, he's very articulate about his feelings, and not just there's a lot of voiceover that's not his voiceover. It's Will Patton doing voiceover as the storyteller, and I normally have no patience for extended voiceover at all, and I really dug it. I thought it really worked in this movie, and I think that the way that he talks, like there's that scene about an hour and 20 minutes in when he's talking with Carrie Condon, and he's like, sometimes I hear my family, and I'm afraid to turn my head, essentially to look for them and find that they're not there. And that is so sad, but also it's so articulate. Even the dialogue in the movie, which he doesn't have a lot of, is as vivid as the imagery that you're looking at. And I don't know, it felt very real emotionally.
So what I was going to say about the narration, I think why the narration works, and I think this is why when narration is good, because I mean narration, it's not always a bad thing. Is that I think it's because it's given us more perspective. It's not like, hey, this is what's going on in his head. It's not that, which sometimes narration does that, and you're kind of like, this is cheesy because I don't need you to tell me what's going on. And I think this is well,
it becomes why are you telling me when you could just show me?
Yeah,
and that's not the device of it in this movie.
This is sort of like it's almost like, okay, first of all, that's what I want to say about Will Patton is that I love Will Patton's voice. I've listened to actually several audiobooks that he's
got a great voice. That's cool.
Because as soon as I heard, I was like, oh, as soon as I heard, it took me like about 10 seconds because I was like, wait a minute, I know that voice. And I was like, oh, that's Will Patton. I've listened to at least 5 books, not this one, but I've listened to it because he narrates the audiobook.
Does he? Oh, I guess that makes sense.
And that's why they got him. But I've listened to at least 5 books that he's done the narration for audiobooks. And
are they all westerns type of stuff?
No.
He's perfectly suited for that.
No. It's actually he narrated all 3 of the. I'm trying to think what the other 2 are, but he narrated all 3 of the Stephen King's Mr. Mercedes books. Okay. And so it was all 3 of those, and then I'm trying to remember what the other 2 were, but he is just he just. There's something about there's a I just thought it fits perfect with this sort of like this guy who is I guess it's not blue collar. I don't know, what do you call this working man?
He's a working man.
Working man. But it just really worked. But like I guess the point I was trying to make before I went off on my Will Patton praise. There
are worse tangents to go on.
Sure, tangent is that what he's doing though is he's sort of adding like context, and I think that's more and giving some like perspective rather than saying necessarily what's going on in the guy's head, because it kind of reminds like when you think about like what he says at the very end about how he never owned a telephone, and he never owned and he talks about how for the first time he feels Robert feels connected to the world, and it was like that might even be the closest we ever get to him being like, this is what's going on in his head. I don't think he ever really veers into like, this is what he's thinking. That's probably the closest we get.
It strikes a really important balance. And there could have been a scene where he whether he gets together with her romantically or not, where he hangs out with Carrie Condon at her fire tower, and he's like, I've seen the world change so much, and I've never even owned a telephone. Like, you don't do any of that nonsense. There are very few voiceovers that I have any interest or patience in, especially anything that extends beyond like just a setup thing, which I don't normally like anyway. And Will Patton, I think what you're saying about him specifically is important because he's got such a distinct and soothing voice. It took me a moment to figure out who he was as well, but I have immediately recognized it. And he's played a lot. I mean, he's not like always a soothing character. He's played villains. He played the postman. He was the villain in The Postman, and he's actually quite. He was also in that, and he's in The Punisher.
He's in he was Gene Hackman's fixer in No Way Out with Kevin Costner.
Oh, that's right, a very young Will Patton.
Oh yeah, very well. I love that movie.
That's a great movie.
Yeah, but anyway, but then
is that the one with George Zunza also? Is he in a wheelchair in that movie? Is that one?
Oh yes, because he's like the tech guy.
Yeah, and he dies. I think they kill him.
I think he kills him. It's funny. Not to go off on not to jump like completely on.
We can George Zunza whenever you want.
But when he does the thing that's funny, the funniest thing to me is when how long it takes for them to try to take the Polaroid picture and to try to process that, and it literally is taking them like days to do it.
Yep.
But that was the 80s. So, or was that it was the late 80s.
I want to say 87.
Yeah. Anyway, that's a good movie.
It is a good movie. We could talk about that one day if you want.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind watching that. Again, and yeah, so a couple other things to talk about theme wise. It is interesting the idea of the industrial progress versus the wilderness preservation. You hear a little bit about sort of that idea and that theme with William H. Macy talking about. And
what a great character.
Oh my God,
such a performance.
I can't believe he didn't get nominated for an Academy Award. I was totally expecting
it's incredible.
That would have been something that he would have been nominated for. It's just an interesting character. I mean, all these characters are interesting. Even the Native American that runs that has that general store, he's barely in it, but he's interesting.
Yeah, everybody is memorable. Like, there's that actor who is the preacher that works with them. Is played by Paul Schneider.
Yes,
I don't dislike Paul Schneider personally or anything. I don't like him as an actor generally.
Yeah.
So he gets shot a lot, and I'm fine with that. Even when he's in stuff like he's not bad. He doesn't ruin Channel Zero first season for me or Parks and Rec or anything like that. But I really enjoyed him getting killed because
that was great because it was like
the whole scene is just crazy. And
I had a feel like a second before
you knew it was going to happen.
I was like, oh, I know what's going to happen.
But it really puts you in the scene as one because what happens is in that scene is that first of all, it's a bunch of white guys.
Yeah.
And a black guy shows up and is like, I'm looking for this person. And, he's actually not some nice preacher person.
I have a message. So he says, I have a message.
Yeah, he's a murderer. And then he kills him. And he's like, I really don't want any trouble. And here's the story. And I'm going to go. And basically everyone else just kind of sits there like, duh. Which is exactly what you do as an audience member. You're sitting there having your lunch. And then this happens. And you're like, I think I'm down with the guy who just shot this other person in front of me is actually the good guy. So I'm just not going to get involved. And it was, I don't know, because the movie, because it's about a life, it does have what essentially feel like snapshots of these moments. And that'd be the kind of thing you'd sure as shit remember that, this guy who I found out he wasn't at all who I thought he was and who he portrayed himself to be. And also I saw him murdered moments after I figured that out. Like, that's quite memorable. I saw somebody get thrown off a bridge. That was quite memorable. And then stuff you would, of course, expect to be memorable, like losing your family. And I had a wolf girl visit me.
Well, I think it's interesting too that there's sort of this mix of what's really going on, and then there's sort of like there's like these dream states that kind of are interspersed with the rest of the story, which they
don't push too much.
What do you mean? Like, as far as
it doesn't become like super artificial or dreamy, or like the dream is what's really important. Like, it feels, I don't know, the whole thing feels very real and surreal at the same time.
Well, they're not pushing the dream sequence like this means something. Like Richard Dreyfuss in Close Encounters. This means something,
right?
You know what I mean? It's not.
It's also not like The Cell. Where we are in a dream, and we have to interpret what this dream is about. So this horse being bisected, that's a reference to a famous work of art, represents this kind of abuse that this child suffered that made him a serial killer. It's not like that. It's not telling you what everything means, but mostly it doesn't have to tell you what everything means because so much of it is relatable. Yeah. Because it's so real. And Joel Edgerton is a quiet guy, but he feels so real. He feels like a real guy.
Yeah. I mean, that scene, like the scene when they're plotting out how they're going to build the house. Mm-hmm. It just feels like a real scene. The scene, I'll tell you,
it's very sweet.
Yes. I think anybody that has that's in a a good, healthy relationship, it's probably had some kind of thing, something like that. I'm not talking about you sat there and you plotted out your whole house, but like just like a genuine kind of like like maybe something in your life that's important, but because of the person that you're with, that you made it light and made it not seem such a, because building a house, especially like where they were and the time that they were in, it's not like it's an easy task.
Well, but you know what they were doing when they were doing that scene. They were dreaming together.
Yeah.
And that's very beautiful and links to the title and is what gets you through those hard things. Because there's hard things like, my family died. That's a hard thing.
Yeah.
But there's also hard things like we are going to build our life together. We are going to build a home. And like you said, it's literally, they had to clear rocks and plants and level out the ground before they built their log cabin. And it's not like they cooked it up to the municipal water or power or whatever. Like it's remote and it's quite beautiful, and it's also literally hand hewn. And the home that they build together and then have a child in you could see them dreaming it, and then it comes true. They build it together, and it's quite beautiful.
Those scenes that he has with his daughter are so like, they're so, it was that was like so real. I was like, oh,
sure.
Like I remember like I just think about like some of the scenes that some of the scenes. Listen to me, but moments that just my kids like just like when she has the water and she drops it in the thing, and then he's like oh. Why'd you do that? Kind of like that, and just, oh well, you know what I mean. And it's like I know I've had like so many like situations like that where you're just like, oh, that's those things, and so it's almost like these you have these really real moments that sell you on the story, and then the dream. I guess because you're invested in the real story, the dreams are kind of like, okay. You're along for the ride, and the fact that it's shot very beautifully. Even it seems weird to say it, but like that the scene where he wakes up and he sees the cabin, like where he's kind of dreaming or putting together what he approximates what happened while he wasn't there.
Right.
And that looks beautiful. Like the fire going up, it makes me sound like a pyro, right?
No,
but like the fire going up, and
fire is beautiful.
Yeah.
Everything in the movie is beautiful, even if it's sad things. Like Bill Macy's character dies.
Yeah.
And that whole sequence from him literally laying there starting to die after being injured, and then burying him and nailing his boots to the tree and all that kind of stuff. It's beautiful. The movie is beautiful. I watched it on Netflix, and they did a beautiful job, making this movie. I hope they put it on disc one day. Netflix doesn't do a lot of that, but it's
they still have
it's so rich and so gorgeous, and the sound is so beautiful, and I don't think it's going to win Best Picture or anything, but I was glad to see it get some attention, because I think it's a specific kind of movie, but I think it's a quite accessible version of it. I don't like most Terrence Malick movies, and people will group this with it, but I realize that I like a number of movies that are clearly influenced by him. Like I really like maybe my wife's least favorite movie title, especially when I say it, because I just love the title of it. The Assassination of Jesse James by the Coward Robert Ford is an incredibly beautiful movie, and even has it reminded me, the way the train's headlamp moves through the trees and stuff, like that kind of imagery. That whole
the train at night,
and gorgeous.
All that stuff.
Gorgeous.
I took a class on like a production class, like for like lighting and stuff like that. College, and that was one of the scenes that they showed as like it's like the train like at night. There's like that whole scene, so it was interesting. But it's a
well, what's also neat is that in Assassination of Jesse James, that's like 4 minutes into the movie, and it's a train robbery. So it's not only gorgeous like that, it's vivid, it's fraught. There's a threat of violence, all this kind of stuff, and this movie, I think, is full of beauty and dread. But it's not full of dread because we're being chased by the law, or we're being chased by a bad guy, or there's some like immediate danger all the time. Like I feel like I kind of ended up waiting for awful things to happen.
Yeah.
And I couldn't decide if that's because it's a movie, so something bad's going to happen. Like I wasn't shocked that something really tragic happened to his family because it's a movie, but also that does happen because everything in real life is that fragile, and the movie is showing accurately things that can happen. And I mean, the guy's job was literally like a tree could fall the wrong way and people are dead.
Yeah.
So that fragility was both very real and evoked in a way that wasn't scary, like it's a monster and it's coming to get you. It was dread, and dread is one of my favorite emotions to feel in a movie, in a horror movie. I think the monster coming to get you idea is, for me personally, much scarier than actually seeing the monster, and that's why movies like Jaws work the way that they work and stuff, because you don't see it, you fill it in. And so even though he as a character is used to the danger, I only spent 2 hours with this guy. So like I didn't get used to the danger. I didn't get used to the consequences of his decisions and stuff. And the mournful dread of the howling wolves at different parts of the movie and stuff, the way that we're so close to nature without it being a movie about, like, I don't mean this in a disparaging way, but like some sort of hippy dippy type of like we're all connected with nature thing. It's like, no, we are.
Yeah.
Nature. We are connected with nature. And so this guy worked more closely in nature than the guy who was the conductor on the train or whatever. But I don't know, it's very real and primal, and it's amazing.
Well, that's actually what they talk about towards the end of the movie. You have Carrie Condon, and she says,
the one who has the fire tower
yes,
job.
And she does. She kind of sort of reinforces that theme about sort of everything sort of has its purpose. I that was kind of the vibe I was getting from her, because what was it? I wish I would have wrote this down, but she said something about like something about even dead trees like have their purpose or something like that, and then. But at the very end, I mean, it's like the final. I believe it's the final line where he says that they talk about it's not when he's already dead, because they do show him in the bed with it's all overgrown and he's dead. But
gorgeous imagery.
But when they show him in the plane, when he goes in the plane, and that's actually the end of the movie where they say he felt at last he was connected to it all, and it's sort of like. It's like he always, I guess he just never really, I guess until that moment, he never, it's ironic at the end of his life, it's like that, or towards the end of his life at that point, he was, he kind of finally understood that, he was sort of like, he was a thread in this like fabric of the world.
I don't even know that it's ironic. I think that like he had to live his life to understand his life. But then he also had this perspective.
I get what you're saying, yeah.
He had this perspective that he had never had before, and that most humans that have ever lived never had, flying, that sort of stuff. I mean, like, there's this whole idea that you're an astronaut, you go into space.
Where is he?
Right, well, you go into space and you see Earth from space.
Yeah,
and you see that little blue dot, and how, or even in orbit, it's not that little necessarily, but you see how fragile everything is, and it just changes you. So imagine you've lived this guy's life, and then one day you get to ride in an airplane, and it even does stuff he's clearly not enjoying, like a barrel roll and stuff. But I mean, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's flying, it's falling, it's dying, it's all in one day. And that's when he realizes that what you're talking about, which is that connection. And it's really, it was so moving, because it felt so real to me. And it was about all these other bigger things too. Like I'm from Baltimore, so obviously I'm a fan of Barry Levinson's movies. But my favorite Barry Levinson movie is Avalon. And Avalon is the story of a family and the story of immigrants coming to America and having children and assimilation and all these other things. But what it's also about is essentially television and the era of big family dinners that turns into let's get our TV trays and eat our food out of our aluminum foil wrapped prepared meals that we got at the grocery store, and let's sit, and then the community means something different, all this kind of stuff. And this is a guy who's seen the world change like that.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the change of an era, and he's from the last era.
Uh-huh.
And you and I are experiencing that already in some ways, and we will experience that if we live, a full, long human life. We are going to see the world change like that. And this movie really captured that, because the movie doesn't say, "Oh, it's good, it's bad." It just goes, "This is."
Yeah.
Which is why the whole idea of everything in life has this meaning. Everything has a purpose. I don't think that's true in some external way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the tree that dies and then, bugs break it down and it can become the food for other plants and trees and animals and all, like, that's not some ledger, externally that's being kept, that assigned a purpose or something. That's just how it works. And so he lives a whole life, and you get to experience that with him. And you feel the emotions with him without being told what they are. There's that line about what is that? Where did I put that note? That money is tight, but he didn't realize that it was going to be the happiest time that he would remember with his little girl and his wife and everything. And I mean, that, I don't know. I don't have a kid, and I still found that, because it's not nostalgia. It feels like you're watching it happen, and it feels very real. And of course, then not just because it's a movie, but because it happens, of course, it's foreshadowing the terrible loss of all of those things.
Yes. I think too, to your point, where they don't get too much into the judgment of things are changing and this is good or bad or whatever. It's when he goes back out logging, and it's been years,
mm-hmm.
and now
he's the old man.
Yeah, he's the old
mm-hmm.
man, and you can see that they don't really dwell too much on the younger guys. They're like, "Oh, here, let me do that," and they're a little bit abrupt, and they're kind of just off doing their own thing. And so now they're around the campfire, and it's just like he's the old man that's kind of off on his,
mm-hmm.
and then that other older guy comes over,
and he recognizes him, right?
And he recognizes him, and you're just like, oh man, it's like times is really marching on, and that guy is like, he can't even do the logging anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like they're not trying to, they're not trying to like portray these younger guys as like bullies or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
They're just like, hey, I need to do this work, and maybe there's a little bit of the implication that maybe he's slowing them down a little bit, but
right.
they're not like, hey, out of my way, old man, pushing them down or anything like that. They're not trying to go there.
But that, I mean, you get older, you can do less, you become less useful, and people to varying degrees will make you feel that way.
Yeah, it's true. And when you were talking about, when you think about like somebody like this who was born at the later part of the 1800s,
mm-hmm.
and so he goes. So this is basically, the story spans from 1893 to 1968. And then you think about all the stuff that he would have seen changed in his life, and it made me think about my great grandfather was born in 1907, and I think about a lot of like the things that he must have seen, because I mean I was still around. He didn't die until he passed away in the early 90s. He used to play baseball, and so I was kind of inspired. It's funny, everything, you can find everything online now. So I kind of I put his name in, and I found some like database. It's got like his stats from when he played baseball.
That's cool.
He played baseball, so he played minor league baseball, and but they didn't pay those guys a lot of money back when he played. So he was playing in the early 20s,
mm-hmm.
1920s, and they didn't pay enough. And when they were trying to offer him to go pro, he was like, I got 3 daughters. I can't
Yeah.
play baseball.
That's
We
really
don't give you enough
interesting.
money.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it's a. I think he played for like 4 years, maybe.
Wow.
But yeah, so it was interesting because he did actually play for the Orioles before they were major league team, back when they were like a AAA team or whatever they called it back then.
That's cool.
So yeah, so it was interesting, but it did make me think of that. Like I was inspired, like after watching this movie, I was inspired to go to look up his information because just the things that you would see in your lifetime is just is amazing. So
Well, I mean, it's funny also because the idea of living across, because it's a totally artificial barrier from 1899 to 1900. But like, I just wonder, like, what if you were born in 1816 and then you died in 1878? And that's a full life.
yeah,
But you didn't get to see 1900. You and I have lived across that line. I was born in 1976. I'll be 50 this year, but I won't know what very unlikely 2076 looks like. And there are people that were born, in 2004 that won't see, 2014 or yeah, no, not 2004, 2104. And this guy doesn't have like an exceptionally long life. He has a pretty normal life. And he lived a hard life. So if you told me that the kind of work that he did wore his body down, like Bill Macy got old.
yeah.
When you first meet him, he's the old guy who's fucking blowing stuff up.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
funny.
it's crazy. And he,
I
as you
kept
said,
thinking he was
becomes
gonna-
one of those people.
I so thought he was going to blow himself up. I kept
sure.
waiting, and it was like, and it was
That's
perfect.
the dread the whole movie is suffused with.
And it was perfect that he did that.
Yeah.
He just died with one of those the branches falling on him.
Awful.
But it's a. It was nice to see that he did become ye old Uber driver at the.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But that's what I kept thinking of. I was like, he's like picking people up, like in his.
Yeah, well,
in
he
his-
invested in a cart, and he's kind to his horses, and he takes care of them, and he, I don't know, he's just a decent man.
Yeah,
And he wasn't going to have a lot, and what he really wanted, he didn't have for very long, which was his family and the love of his wife and his daughter. I mean, the scene when he comes home from work and his surprises his wife, and she turns around and she's just so excited, like it's so real and it's so beautiful. And I want to talk a little bit about Joel Edgerton.
yes.
He's been in a lot of stuff for a long time. I think of him as kind of quietly incredible because
Well, can I ask you, what's the
What?
first thing you ever saw him in?
the first thing I remember really noticing him in was Warrior,
Okay.
the Tom Hardy MMA movie with Nick Nolte. Got an Oscar nomination as their father. That movie, I'd love to do that movie on this show.
Okay.
That movie is very personally resonant, but also it's a really great role for Joel Edgerton because Tom Hardy is the flashier role. Nobody in that movie is a movie star or anything.
Sure.
But Tom Hardy, the movie is essentially about two brothers who are estranged because of the decisions their parents made. Have you seen it?
I have not seen the whole movie, but I've seen I
You've seen
know
Tom
enough of the
Hardy
story.
knock out an MMA fighter in the ring.
Yeah,
practicing.
and I've seen a couple.
But I mean, Tom Hardy's character is the much sort of flashy isn't the right word, but he's much more distinct. And Joel Edgerton is like a high school teacher who's trying to save his home. So they end up in a tournament that anybody can win for real money, life-changing money, that kind of stuff. And Joel Edgerton is not the star of the movie, but it doesn't work without him.
Sure.
And he's, even when he's a secondary character, like he's in a number of movies. Oh my God, I'm totally blanking on the director's name. I love the director. What is his name? Hold on. Jeff Nichols. So like he did Midnight Special with Michael Shannon, and he's in Loving, the interracial court case movie.
Yes.
And he's just been in so many things, and he's written and directed movies as well, and he's in, like he'll be in a sequence of a movie like The Green Knight where he's very memorable, but he's never the most handsome or whatever, but he plays a regular guy, and this is about the life of essentially of that era and that change of that era of a regular guy. I can't see anybody else really striking the right balance for this character?
So the first thing I ever saw him in was this movie called The Square. I don't know if you've ever heard of
I
it.
know what it is. I have not seen that though.
It's a good movie. It's one of those movies. So it's him, and I guess Nash Edgerton's his brother.
Okay. Yeah.
Nash Edgerton
a
directed
few
the
of those.
movie, and then Joel Edgerton and him wrote the movie together. And it's a great little Australian noir movie. There's actually quite a few movies called The Square. But
Yes.
this
there's
one,
a Persian one.
this one came out. This one came out in 2008, and I remember I watched it, and I said to, and he's got a small part in it. But I remember my screenwriting professor would like to show his classes like movies that were, obviously well written movies that were, but also that not a lot of people had seen. And so I remember I saw this and I sent him a message on Facebook. I was like, you gotta show your class this. And he watched. He was like, oh my god, this movie's great. It's like perfect because it's not too long. Also because it
doesn't hurt. Yeah.
yeah. So but it's a and it's one of those movies that just his even though he's not in it a lot. He's this sort of like this. He's like this like criminal guy. It's good. Anyway,
Did you ever see Animal Kingdom?
I have not seen Animal Kingdom.
That was the year before Warrior, but I ended up seeing it after I saw Warrior because he was in 2011. He was in Warrior and he was in The Thing. And
Yes.
I liked him. I liked both of those movies, and I liked him in both of those movies. And then I went back and I saw Animal Kingdom, which they eventually made into a television series, which is supposed to be good, which I haven't seen. But we get so many actors that are really quite incredible that come out of Australia that if you don't care about like the behind the scenes at all, you'd never know that they're not American or whatever you might encounter them in. And he's one of those like he quietly built a career, and I don't know, he just strikes me as a guy that has a reputation of being a decent person, and he works with a lot of different people and he does a lot of different stuff, and at this point now he's writing and directing stuff as well, and he works with directors that have him back to work again. And I feel like I want to see what he and this director Clint Bentley do again, because they should do more.
Yeah, he was in that Johnny Depp.
Black Mass.
Yes.
Yeah, I haven't seen that, but I know he's in that one.
Yeah, I think he's an FBI agent.
He's in Zero Dark 30. He's in Great Gatsby. He's in Exodus, Gods and Kings. And some of these are lead roles, and some of these are supporting roles. He's in It Comes at Night. Of course, he's in everyone's favorite fantasy movie ever, Netflix original Bright, with Will Smith.
Yes, I do remember that. Also,
like let's make Alien Nation but dumber.
Yeah, I can't forget that he is Luke Skywalker's uncle.
That's true. He's Owen Lars.
Yes.
That's true. And his brother, Nash, was actually Ewan McGregor's stunt double in one of the prequel movies.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Remember, that's all Australian. Yeah, he's in Red Sparrow. He's in all these different things. And he's not necessarily one of those guys that's the reason I'm seeing this movie.
Yes.
But then I find out that he's in it, and I go, oh, well, I know he'll be good. There's a certain category of actors, and it isn't always the leads, but it's like they sort of elevate things for me. Mm-hmm. So like a guy that he's done movies with, more than one movie with, I think, Ben Mendelsohn.
Uh-huh.
Ben Mendelsohn is good in everything.
Yeah.
So even if it's a movie that I don't like very much, like I'm not a huge fan of The Dark Knight Rises. I don't like Ready Player One. But Rogue One is okay. Uh-huh. But Ben Mendelsohn is great in all of those.
Yes.
And Joel Edgerton is also, I think, that kind of actor where if he shows up, something good will happen. And for him to have a lead and for it to be this kind of quiet role it's just such a good match.
Yeah.
It's such a good match. He's so good.
I think that and I also think that Felicity Jones, speaking of Rogue One,
too,
yeah, I think she was. I think that they did a good job for. I mean, she's not in the movie a whole lot.
No,
but she is.
Her presence is.
Yes, and she is also. I think they did a good job of. Like I saw somewhere somebody said something about I think it was probably the director said that we wanted to make sure she wasn't just the wife that dies.
Which she isn't. Look, I mean, I wanted him to. If it's so funny the way I related to this and then watched this character, I wanted him, if he wanted to have a connection and relationship with Carrie Condon's character. If he wanted to. Like, that's literally what I was thinking. I was like, I think she'd be good for you if you want to move past Felicity Jones. And I just remember thinking, well, look at me relating to this guy like he's a real person. I'm like rooting for him, but also respecting his decisions.
I'll tell you what I felt the whole time is where I was connecting with him is the whole time I was like, I hope his wife comes back. I was like, I kept thinking, I was like, oh my God.
I stopped at a certain point. I stopped hoping for that, which I think hope is the most powerful thing for people, but also can be the most poisonous thing because at a certain time, at a certain point, and this is
because
the most situational.
He wasn't moving on. I mean,
no, he wasn't.
It was detrimental.
But at a certain point, right? Hope is is dangerous or destructive or even foolish.
It was funny because even the bear, that one scene where he's like sitting there, the bear's walking by, and the bear's like, this guy's fucked up.
Yeah,
bear like took one look back.
See, the other thing is his condition and his behavior. It could have easily turned into a movie where everybody hated him or everybody abused him, and instead, like the Native American guy, the shop owner, people were very kind to him. And that vibe reminded me of stuff like Lars and the Real Girl, where people are like, this is sad, or this is weird, or this is making me uncomfortable, or I don't know what to do, but I'm just going to be kind to this person because it's a person.
Yeah.
And that felt very real and moving. And in a movie that's quite sad, in some ways, that was part of why it was so beautiful and real to me. Now, it also reminded me of another movie, which I haven't seen in a long time, which I happen to randomly have been thinking about recently, and I would like to watch again. And then I watched Train Dreams. Did you ever see that Robert Duvall movie, Get Low? Probably about 10 years old.
That sounds so familiar.
It's basically, he's a guy who, it's a small town. I don't remember, it's not set in the exact present day, but he's a hermit that everybody like is either afraid of or doesn't like him because he let his family die in a fire or something. And he kind of walks into town one day and is like, I'm going to pay for my funeral and I want to have it before I die.
Oh, no, I have not seen it.
And it's really, it's beautiful and fascinating. And it's, I don't know exactly how connected it is to this movie because I haven't watched it again. But the feel of it, the vibe of it, the Robert Duvall's character and what you learn about him and everything is very moving. But it's about him actively reflecting on his life with this community that has rejected him. Whereas this movie is an active consideration of a life in a community, outside of a community, that some people in the community are like, you're still a person to us.
Yeah.
We still want you here. And like, we'll work. You want to buy a horse and start your Uber? We'll make it work
Uber.
because you're a decent man and you've had terrible loss and we want to help you. And we, everybody, you and I both can think of people in our life that are, just regular people. Like we're just regular people. We're living regular lives, your family and your job and whatever. But somebody that has the same life, but their wife died or their kid died or something like that. And you could choose to exclude those people, or you could choose to do nothing with those people, or you could choose to say, I'm going to go a little extra and be kind to this person because they need that kindness. And this is a guy who needs that kindness, and he gets it from some people. And the people who don't give him kindness, it's not like he gets beat up and his house gets robbed constantly or things like that, but he could just be left to be nothing.
Yeah.
And that image of him dead with the nature growing over him is very powerful because it's not just a sad image. I don't know. This movie was very beautiful. I need to watch it again.
I thought it was another thing that was interesting about this, as far as from a technical standpoint, they used for most of the movie, they just used natural light, which I'm sure in some respects probably was easier for setups, but at the same time,
well, it has to be the right light, of course.
That's the thing. That's what I'm saying. So you don't have to, because let me tell you, I remember when I worked on when I was working on Homicide: Life on the Streets. Sometimes just like resetting the lights, even for like the same scene, it just would take forever.
Oh yeah.
So,
That's why they have trailers.
But at the same time, this is one of the things they were talking about is that to get the right light, sometimes they would have to stop shooting and wait. And so, like the one scene where he is with the tower scene, where he has the conversation in the tower with Carrie Condon, that they were doing it, and he said they were like, something doesn't feel right, and they like stopped shooting for like a couple hours until the sun got to like golden hour, and then they did it. And that's the thing that sucked too, was that they had to do it quick, because then the sun, you only have so much time in that type of light.
Well, that's why I get why shooting and stuff like the Volume with the LED screens all around you is so intoxicating, because you want to do Magic Hour, you want to do the Mandalorian in the desert.
Yeah.
Okay, you can shoot all day.
Yeah.
At Magic Hour, you could do that. I mean, like Michael Bay's movies and Tony Scott's movies and all these giant movies, that they shoot a lot of stuff at Magic Hour, and then they play with color timing and stuff like that. But did you ever see the movie Babylon that came out a few years ago? With Brad Pitt and
Margot Robbie?
Yeah.
I have not seen it.
It's a completely insane movie.
Yeah.
I think
I've heard it is.
I think it's quite good. I really was not interested and not impressed. And a good friend of mine who loves movies, and he doesn't just watch lesbian vampire movies. He watches a lot of different stuff. But
okay.
He was like, you have to watch this movie. And so I watched it, and I liked it, and I thought about it, and I liked it more. But there's a whole scene where, because it's Hollywood in the 30s, basically. And there's a whole scene, giant battle scene. Spike Jonze is actually playing the director of this giant epic movie, and it all hinges on, we got to get this shot as the sun sets, and the tension of it, and the like, hurry up and line it up right, and set off these 100 cannons and make these extras run, and all this kind of stuff. Like, it's so compelling to watch in this movie, this fictional version of people making a movie, because they're fighting for that time. So, like, to imagine shooting a movie, which is not a cheap thing, of course, unless you're, making the Paragon.
Yeah.
To shoot that movie and to be like, it's not working. We're going to do nothing, essentially, for a couple of hours.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But it's worth it. It pays off. This movie deserves all the attention that it's getting, just for the look and feel of it.
I was watching a behind-the-scenes video. I think Netflix put it out, where they did... when the fire sequence, they did use lights for that to create that look.
Is there real fire in that scene at all?
I think so.
Yeah. I mean, it feels very real. I mean, that fire to me is one of those things. It's like, it's really hard to do it digitally and sell it.
Yeah. And then what they did, though, which was interesting, is that they actually found a real like forest that had suffered like fire damage, and they used that for some of the scenes that they shot, like post fire sequence.
Wow.
But it's very interesting. It's like a 4. I don't know if it's on the Netflix channel or not, but it might be. But they show them like in the with these big like orange like LED panel lights inside the fire.
Is it the cinematography of Train Dreams?
Is it like 4 minutes?
4
and
minutes
20
and 6 seconds.
Yeah, but that sounds about right.
Yeah, that's on YouTube.
But
I mean, there's other stuff too. But.
Yeah.
Oh right, that's the other thing. It was shot in a 3:2.
Well, that's actually the next thing I was going to bring up. Yeah. So, the reason they did it was because the director was saying that when you look at some of these like old time photos, that was sort of the ratio that they were in. I saw 3:2, and then I saw and I guess this is
also, it's better for trees apparently.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, they like it for.
Well, they
trees.
did they said that it creates, there's more headspace when you shoot that way. So I think that was I think there is this there's a wide shot about an hour into the movie where it's just Robert, and he's just standing back watching a tree fall, and it's just like. It's just like a great like shot, like to see, and you can really see it's like there is that, so you can see like the full length of the tree. That they used a special type of they cut down very few trees, real trees in the movie.
It's good to know.
He said mostly what they used, they had some kind of, they made a lot of these very convincing looking fake trees out of like cardboard and styrofoam or something. So I don't know. Actually, I think I put it somewhere.
It's always so interesting to me
trees.
when if it's because you're shooting
wood and
a movie.
fiberglass. That's what it is.
Okay, I mean you're shooting a movie and also you don't want to damage the the real world if you don't have to. But like that movie, The Descent, about the people trapped in the cave and there's monsters in the cave and all that kind of stuff. Pretty much everything underground is a set, and they put in the effort to make it real. So I didn't doubt for a second I was watching real trees fall within the context. Like I didn't wonder how did they do that, and I also didn't wonder what the fuck, man. They're cutting up all these trees to make this movie. It just felt like we were there. We were watching.
There is a it was I just had it. I love a fake tree. So it was basically just like wood and fiberglass props, and then they did use some visual effects to enhance it to kind of sell the whole thing. But they did actually find, like I was saying, they did find an actual fire damage location for the post-fire like devastation scenes, and the ash was all real. They shot this whole thing in 29 days.
Wow.
So
there's just so much interesting stuff. Like the cast is so interesting. You got Clifton Collins Jr. in like one scene.
So what is the deal with Clifton Collins Jr.? This is the second movie we've seen where he shows up in the beginning part of the movie,
and he's out of his
barely
mind.
Barely in anything.
Well, I mean, like and it's funny, like you see. I don't know. It's always funny to me when you think about like all these movies came out this year. When were they actually made? How long did it take to make them? All that kind of stuff. Nathaniel Arcand, he plays the Native American store owner.
Yeah. So
he's in Train Dreams, which is a Best Picture nominee. He's also one of the Choctaw vampire hunters.
Oh, is he?
Sinners.
Okay.
So he's in 2 Best Picture nominees.
Yeah.
And you know what? They're little roles, and I remember him in both of them.
Yeah.
And this movie is full of smaller type, just in terms of screen time performances. And I'm not talking even like flashy screen time. Like I wasn't shocked to find out that Jack Nicholson was only in Few Good Men for 16 minutes or whatever. But I remember it very vividly. I remember, if I think about the scenes of the movie, because it's like the scenes from this man's life. There's the Paul Schneider scene. There's the Bill Macy scenes. There's John Deal. John Deal plays the new old guy.
I remember him from Miami Vice.
Yeah, he's in Miami Vice. He's in The Shield. He's in tons of stuff.
Yeah.
And Carrie, I heard it's a movie with Joel Edgerton and Carrie Condon. Carrie Condon is not really in the movie very much, but she's she's.
I'd be surprised if she's in it for more than 5 minutes.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. But she some people you don't spend a lot of time of your life with, and they make an impression on you. And even like I think she was clearly interested in like, let me learn more about this guy. And he's like, I like you, but that's enough. I'm going to keep you at a distance. It all just felt very real. And
you did wonder if we were like, is something going to happen here? But he just, I think he was just so distraught.
No, he was. Listen, I told you, I wanted him to. If he wanted to move on, I wanted him to move on. It reminded me of The Baltimoreans, which I know you haven't seen.
Yeah.
But there's a scene in that movie where 2 characters are essentially, they're very close in a romantic sort of path, and are they going to kiss? And I can't remember the last time I watched a movie where I was like, I just wanted it wasn't like, come on, kiss already. I wanted them to kiss. Like I wanted them to get there. I wanted them to find that. And I wondered as I was watching this movie, am I going to feel that? Like I really want him, come on, man, get off your ass. This chick's into you kind of thing. No, I wanted them to find their way together. And she didn't push it and he didn't want it. And yet they enjoyed their time and companionship together. And it felt very sweet and real. And that's how you meet people. And that's how people are in your life sometimes. And the movie is just full of that. It's just full of a whole life in those real moments. And by the time he's in the airplane and he's crying, then I started crying. And the whole thing was just very beautiful and reflective. And then what did they talk about? Like he died alone, or he died in his bed.
Yeah.
He never owned a phone. That whole speech.
Or a firearm.
Yeah.
And he had no errors or something like that. I think they say that too.
Well, the whole atmosphere of the movie, like it's not surprising to find out that they used natural light because that it feels more real. Even if you don't know that they did that, that's part of why it feels real. The music, the score by Bryce Dessner and the Nick Cave song. You should listen to the song independent of the movie. It's really quite a beautiful song. Even if people aren't really Nick Cave fans or something, the writing is it's a really. Sometimes they nominate these songs for a Best Original Song Oscar, and I'm like, well, you nominated it because it's in the movie.
Yeah,
this is a movie. This is a song that's the movie. It's a really great match. I don't know that it'll win, but if it does, I won't have a problem with that.
So here's a little interesting fact. The director, Clint, it's Clint, Clint Bentley, and Greg Quidar. They both went to the same remote Idaho woods where Dennis Johnson, who wrote the book, where he lived.
Oh, I didn't know.
And where the story is set, and that's what I guess they get the whole vibe to write the script.
Nice.
Also, this production is one of those equality models that they use where everybody got paid the same thing, like everybody.
I didn't know that.
Like so.
I think that's cool.
That is pretty cool, and I think that's some part of what they were doing with the Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, the Rip, I think did something similar to that as well. Yeah, so I think there's a lot of.
I haven't seen that yet because I haven't felt like getting on my phone while doing laundry and watching a movie.
Well, you'll be okay if you do, because apparently they repeat plot points multiple times. Apparently, much to the dismay of Matt Damon.
Well, that's what the new Stranger Things was like.
Yeah,
let me explain it to me again. Okay.
But this did, like we were saying, it got nominated for Best Picture. It got nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Cinematography, Best Original Song. But yeah, it is disappointing that Joel Edgerton or William H. Macy did not get nominated for either, in their respective categories.
It's kind of crazy to me that the movie is getting attention that it deserves. It absolutely deserves the attention. How do you not nominate him?
Yeah,
like how do you, and he got nominated for other stuff like Independent Spirit Awards and other things, but he is the heart of the movie.
To be fair, as the when it comes to I feel like Best Actor category this year is very crowded, and I feel like everybody that's nominated, I don't feel like there's anybody that you're going to be like, we should probably kick that guy.
No,
out.
I agree,
and I think that's probably part of the problem. So I mean, who do we have? We have Timothy Chalamet, we have Michael B. Jordan, you have Leonardo DiCaprio.
I'm gonna look it up.
What's his face from Sentimental Value? Is he nominated for Best Actor?
Well, Stellan Skarsgård
is
up for
supporting actor. Okay. I thought I had listed.
Well, I mean, I think that sometimes there's people call it category fraud. I don't know that I'd call it category fraud, but the like Chase Infinity didn't get nominated for Best Actress for One Battle After Another. Yeah. She's the emotional heart of the movie and the MacGuffin of the movie, and it's a wonderful performance. You could also make the argument that it's a supporting role. Yeah. That there are 3 lead performances that are the 3 main actors, or there's Leonardo DiCaprio and 2 male actors, and then there's like 3 or 4 female actors. Tiana Taylor, Regina King, and Chase Infinity are all supporting. But again, there's 10 Best Picture nominees. Yeah, and there's only 5 of the other categories. Sorry, I'm looking here. Okay, so actor in a leading role. You got Timothy Chalamet for Marty Supreme, Leonardo DiCaprio for One Battle After Another, Ethan Hawke for Blue Moon.
That's right.
Which I have not seen. Yeah. Although, I mean, honestly, even the trailer, I was like, this looks great. Yeah. Michael B. Jordan for Sinners. Although I also wanted them to nominate him. I wanted him to be Smoke for Best Actor and Stack for Best Supporting Actor as Michael A. Jordan, but they didn't do that. And Wagner Moura, who I like very much for The Secret Agent, which I have not seen. Yeah. So I forgot that he was nominated. Yeah, Stellan Skarsgård got in for Sentimental Value, but the big surprise with that one was Delroy Lindo for Sinners. Which is great. He's great.
So, But yeah, so that was. I mean, it's got a few other nominations. Like you said, it's got 4 Independent Spirit nominations. All I have here listed is Best Picture and Best Actor. I don't know what the other ones were. And it won Critics' Choice Award for Best Cinematography, and it won. Joel Edgerton did win the Golden Globe for his role.
No, it's up for Best Cinematography. It's up for Best Original Song. It's up for Best Picture.
And Best Actor you're talking about for Independent Spirit?
No, I'm talking about the Oscars.
Oh, yeah.
And it's up for Best Adapted Screenplay.
Yeah.
So, good stuff.
Yeah, I think that's good. I think that'll be, it'll be interesting to see. I know, and I really would need to get on. I want to see, I kind of hate the way the theater runs of movies are now, and I feel like so many things can kind of fall through these cracks, and I don't, if I don't get to see, if you don't see something within the first 2-3 weeks, then you're kind of like,
yeah, I've already missed 28 Years Later, Bone Temple. I mean, I've missed.
Well, 28 Years Later is on Netflix.
No, 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple.
Oh, The Bone Temple,
new one,
yeah,
which is a terrible thing to happen because people thought, what did they re-release it, or wasn't that already out? So good planning on the title, guys.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, no, stuff doesn't last very long, and
I know,
so I end
then,
up going to the movies less, which is too bad because I like to go to the movies.
It is hard to because I feel like that's because I keep checking for Marty Supreme. And it's like, because that's one of those movies. I'm like, if I watch it with my wife, I'll pay extra. I'll pay extra to see it as soon as it's available for rent. Because that's another one I want to see is I want to see Begonia. Now, I know that's on
Hulu, I think.
Yeah, well you can rate. Oh, I don't think it's
on, or no, maybe it's Peacock, maybe something like that. It's on one of the streaming services.
Oh, is it? Okay, well, I don't have Peacock. So. Well. But anyway, so that's my I don't ever hear people say this anymore. First world problems. Does anybody say that anymore?
Well, you really shouldn't, because the idea of a third world is actually pretty insulting.
So, well,
we apparently, what people are going to see? They're going to see Send Help. That's this past weekend, the new Sam Raimi movie with Rachel McAdams, which looks super fun, and they're going to see Iron Lung. Yes. Which has made $18 million its opening weekend or something.
Done better than the Melania movie.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, the Melania movie, obviously, that's Best Picture next year, if you let Jeff vote. But the thing is, all of movies have changed. Was Train Dreams even in the theater for more than 5 seconds? I think it was
like a week.
I don't even remember seeing that it was available. I knew I was curious about it because of Joel Edgerton, and it looked beautiful, and that was pretty much all I knew about it. And I knew it was on Netflix, so I was like, all right, I'll watch that. And then when we said we're going to do an episode, I said, okay, good. Now I'm definitely going to watch it. But there's 10 Best Picture nominees. I think I've seen 4 of them so far.
I was looking at we've done a show on
3 of them.
I think it's 3 or 4 of them now.
Yeah,
so.
Sinners, One Battle After Another, and Train Dreams. I think those are the ones. I don't remember.
That was the F1 Sinners.
Oh, and F1. That's the other one. Yeah, so we've done 4 of them.
Yeah.
And we've been talking about some of the other ones we'd like to do. So
yeah. So, but did you have anything else to add before?
No, I really hope people will seek this movie out. It is really, it's just beautiful, and it's one of those, in a good way, it's kind of about everything, because it's about a whole life, and it's very relatable and beautiful and sad and sweet and quiet and in some ways also really gigantic.
And as much as it seems like a cliche to say, it's a meditation on whatever. You guys know what we're talking about. I always see that they're like it's a meditation on, and I forget what descriptors they use after that, but I'm just like, so do you mean there's not a lot of talking? Because I see in things like, I think it's because we also come from an era, we still remember, well, at least I do, because I'm a little bit older than you. I still remember
that's why I think of you as my great uncle.
I still remember, or not so. It's funny. It was ironic that he was the great uncle, because he was not great. The not great. He was but I remember watching movies like The Black Stallion,
sure,
where there were so there's movies like from the 70s where there's just huge chunks. And I was a kid seeing this. There's huge chunks where nobody's talking. Yeah. There's a scene in that movie where the kid's on the island with the stallion, I mean, it's like a good like 10 minutes of the movie. There's no dialogue.
Yeah.
And it's like I can't imagine my kids sitting through something. And so it's okay if people aren't talking in the movie. Sometimes you just got to take it in. I think it's like I hate to say it's a vibe, because I feel like when you say it's a vibe, I feel like that sort of denotes a different type of movie, but it is kind of a vibe. It is kind of a vibe.
It's totally like a vibe. To me is a very broad thing. You know what?
Yeah.
You know who makes vibe movies that aren't anything like this movie is Michael Mann.
Yeah.
Michael Mann makes lots of vibe movies, and I love a lot of Michael Mann vibe movies. This is a Terrence Malick vibe looking movie, except I really like this movie. I don't like Terrence Malick.
Well, I feel like Terrence Malick's,
except for A New World.
I know. Terrence Malick, his movies, I feel like they're, even though this gets a little trippy, his movies get very trippy, and you're kind of like, what?
You're like, you could be editing in footage of, I don't know, Adrian Brody as the lead of The Thin Red Line, but let's look at leaves. Look, it's raining. Like, shut up. I don't have the patience.
Here's
for
his
that.
extended,
Sorry, Terrence.
really wide shot, golden hour of somebody standing in a marsh.
Right.
Here you go. But anyway,
Like, I'm not going to pretend that sort of thing isn't artful, but to me, it insists upon itself. This movie feels gorgeous and authentic, and I can't think of much better praise for the what this movie is trying to do. To describe it as what it's trying to do, it does. It works.
Sure.
I recommend it.
Yes.
I don't want to recast it. I just think it's
No, I'm not gonna. It just came out. No, you know what I should do? I should take modern movies and recast it with old stars. There you go. That'd be interesting.
I think Gregory Peck would be amazing, or Robert Mitchum.
How about Jack Nicholson?
Jack Nicholson, interesting choice,
Yeah.
but only Jack Nicholson from The Departed. Where's my wife? Where's the car?
Yeah.
I got a horse. So I think
we've wrapped it.
I'm enjoying working my way through the Best Picture nominees. The Oscars are for me my superb owl. So I'm excited. It's this time of year with all the awards, because it ends up bringing some attention to movies that I'm glad get attention. And this one I didn't know I would feel that way till I saw it. But I hope people see this movie because it deserves to be seen. And I really feel like some of these movies that get nominated for these awards, if you watch them in 5 years, you'd go, "What?" This one is one
definitely.
I think will.
There are so many
legacy.
that don't stand the test of time,
which is fine. It happens.
Green Book.
Some of them are an extreme example of that. Yes, I think Green Room should have been nominated before Green Book.
Yeah. So, did you like Green Room?
Green Room is okay. I do like how the Nazis are punished for Naziing. But also it's really gruesome, and it's so much better than Green Book.
Sure.
Even though Green Book has great people in it, it's not good.
What are you talking about?
Racism? What's that? You want some fried chicken? Shut up.
I know.
Oh my God.
That was actually not only racist to black people, but Italians.
Yes.
It was a double whammy. Anyway.
It's so weird because when I saw There's Something About Mary, I was like, I hope they do a movie like Selma one day.
A half-ass version of Selma that's kind of racist.
Yeah, maybe they'll remake Roots. Like, this is not the sensibility. Whatever.
So thank you.
Listen,
Anyway.
I think we all know, and again, it's about racism. We know probably the worst Best Picture winner in our lifetime.
What, you driving Miss Daisy? No.
Crash.
Oh God.
Especially because then people mix it up with The Good Crash.
The Good Cry with David Cronenberg.
Yeah, David Cronenberg's car sex movie. That's a really good movie. That should have won Best Picture.
So on one of my film classes in school, we had to take a scene from a movie. No, I'm going to wrap it up here. I'm sorry. We had to take a scene from a movie, and then they and like just like talk about it or whatever the hell. I can't remember what the project was, but this guy did the scene from Crash, but he did a very explicit scene from Crash. But it's like liberal arts school,
from
so
The Good Crash. You're saying.
Yeah, from The Good Crash. So it's like liberal arts school, so we're not going to say anything, and everybody's entitled to their opinion, and we're going to show whatever. So it's an explicit sex scene from Crash. and we're watching it. But like the person, like I don't think they really prepared. I think they just thought, I'm just going to show this scene and then I'll talk about it a little bit. And then at one point the teacher goes, "Are we done?" That was so funny.
That's really funny.
Meanwhile, then it's like, then I go up there. I'm doing like, these people are doing like all these like art house films, and they're like, okay, I want to do mine on Raiders of the Lost Ark.
It's a fine film.
I did do it. But mine was actually about the feminism in Raiders of the Lost Ark. So
that's a good choice.
It was.
Well, the last thing I'll say is we're talking about the awards and stuff. There's one movie that should have won Best Picture, and every year I hope that they'll just say, "Listen, we fucked up, and we're gonna make it Best Picture." And you know what movie that is?
I don't.
Mad Max Fury Road.
He's making a. You should say it twice.
Mad Max.
So he's making up for last episode.
That's right.
All right. So that's a wrap on Train Dreams, because I'm sorry, that's my fault. I drugged that out a little bit too long. But we'll be back next week with. I don't even know what we're doing next week, but we're doing something. It'll be great, and we will have pearls of wisdom or something. I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that.
Next week we will be doing. I mentioned the director. We will be doing Barry Levinson's big breakthrough movie, Dinah. From 1982, set in our hometown of Baltimore. Dinah.
That's pretty good.
Thanks. Thanks, hon.
And
don't I know it?
Oh no! Don't we ran that Old Bay?
Listen, I would love to keep talking about movies, but I got to talk about Cal Ripken. See you later.
Oh no! The cat's gonna attack me.
Hey, look out, kitty!
Oh no!
The
cat is ornery.
Okay, Scott, I'll see you down the ocean. Okay?
All right. Okay. So anyway, hey, look, follow us on our Facebook page at StoryPunk. Not Facebook. Hello, Instagram. Follow us on Instagram at StoryPunkPod, and to get the StoryPunk updates. And I'll be the last couple of weeks have just been rough because of the weather. So I will be updating that regularly for our when our next episode drops. You will see that all of our updates there, and hopefully we'll be adding some new stuff. And we're also on Facebook, so just look for Story Punk Podcast there. And we are all, and I didn't actually mention this last week, but we are on all of the major platforms and some of the minor ones too for podcasts. So if you happen to just randomly stumble upon our podcast, just put it in your favorite podcast platform, Story Punk, and you'll find it.
If you can't find it, let us know, because we'll ask them to add it.
Although there is some,
we're kind of out of them.
There is some weird, like, Story Punk, like some French thing that someone did like a couple episodes of and then never did anything else with. So that's not us.
That was us.
We're English,
but we're back.
I mean, we're not English. I mean, we're from America. Never mind.
We speak English, and we speak it real good.
Yes, we speak American. Anyway, and also we are on Letterboxd. I am Storypunk Scott on Letterboxd, and Drew will now give us his name.
I'm Solid Gould.
He's Solid Gould with the Solid Gould Dancers. That joke, I don't know why I say it every week.
It's just as funny as it was the first time.
Yeah, which was not funny at all. Anyway, I think that's it for today, for this episode. And remember, story matters.